Welcome to Wisdom Unveiled, your shortcut to profound knowledge and surprising insights. This is episode 7 in our 18-part deep dive into the really extraordinary philosophical legacy of Ibn Sina. Today, we're tackling one of the most fundamental questions, really. What does it mean to be human? Specifically, that intricate relationship between the body and the soul. Now, just a quick note for you, our listener. This deep dive, it draws from and is a translation of conversations with Iranian philosophers, Dr. Ibrahim Dinani and Dr. Ismail Manzouri Larijani. We've really tried hard for accuracy, but, some concepts or maybe details might not be fully conveyed in translation, so we do apologize in advance for any discrepancies there. Okay, so let's unpack Ibn Sina's groundbreaking ideas. They really challenge how many people view themselves, offering a path to understanding the self that goes way beyond just physicality. Get ready to explore that profound question of who are you through the lens of, one of history's greatest thinkers.
Indeed. And this question, soul and body, or maybe we can say mind and body, it's arguably the most significant issue humanity faces. It really is.
That sounds right.
And Ibn Sina offers a remarkably nuanced, very logical perspective that's still incredibly relevant for us today. It just cuts through centuries of debate with this startling clarity.
The most significant issue. That's a bold claim, but it feels right, doesn't it? We kind of inherently feel like we're more than just, flesh and bones.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start right at the core. Many people, I think, tend to see body and soul as maybe one thing, or perhaps two things just sort of combined, stuck together.
Right, like pieces of a puzzle, maybe?
Yeah. But Ibn Sina, he draws a really clear line, a distinct separation. Why? Why does he draw this line so firmly? What's his basic reasoning?
Well, his reasoning is, it's beautifully simple, but also really profound. The very act of asking, who am I, kind of reveals the answer. Just think about it. You as a human can even raise this question about the soul and body, about your own existence, your own nature. Why can you do that? Why can a wall not do that? Or a stone?
Right.
Is it your physical body asking the question, or is it something else entirely? Something we call, thought, intellect.
That's a really powerful point. I mean, if my hand tried to ask the question, it would just be moving air. It's definitely my capacity for thought, right? For consciousness. That's what lets me even ponder this stuff.
Precisely. That's fundamental distinction in the ability to think about yourself and the world. That's Ibn Sina's starting point.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first clue that we aren't just physical beings. So if we break this down a bit more, the body, which Ibn Sina calls temperajism, well, it's a physical entity. Simple as that.
Okay.
It has all the properties of a physical object: length, width, depth, weight. It exists in time and space. It's perishable. It breaks down. It's divisible.
You cut it into pieces.
Exactly. And it occupies a very specific location, its makan, its place. It takes up space.
So like a stone or a chair, like you said,
Yeah.
takes up space. Our bodies have definite boundaries, subject to physics, decay.
Yes, exactly. The human body, it's special, incredibly complex, but it shares these fundamental physical properties. It's bound by those constraints.
Okay, so that's the body, the jism. But what about thought? What about consciousness, our awareness? Can we actually say thought has weight or specific length or width? Does your thought right now have a specific physical location, a place it exists in?
No, we absolutely cannot. Can we say thought grows old like a body does? Gets wrinkles?
Definitely not.
Or does it need a specific location like, my thought is currently sitting in this chair? It sounds absurd.
It does. Thought seems to have no physical limits at all.
Yeah.
I can be sitting right here, but my mind can zoom off to ancient Rome or imagine a future I'll never see, or even think about, nothingness.
Exactly.
No mountain, no ocean, nothing physical can block the path of thought.
You've hit the nail on the head. None of those properties we attribute to the body, perishability, divisibility, being stuck in one place, age, none of that applies to thought or intellect.
Yep.
Your physical body is right here, right now. But your thought, it's boundless, limitless. So Ibn Sina argues, since the properties of thought are completely distinct, totally different from the properties of the body, thought must belong to something of a different nature altogether.
And that's the soul.
That's what he calls the soul, or nafs, ruh, or yan in Persian. These words emphasize its animating conscious essence. And it's really important to get this. He's not talking about some spooky ghost floating around.
Right.
He means the actual faculty of thinking, perceiving, the conscious awareness itself. So what we see in humans are two distinct kinds of properties, irreducible to each other. Spiritual or psychological, the world of thought, potentially infinite, and physical, the body, with its finite physical attributes. They operate on completely different levels.
Okay, so if they're so distinct, how do they actually relate? Are they just two separate things kind of stuck together, like a driver in a car? Or maybe like salt dissolves in water, is it just a mechanical or chemical mix?
Ibn Sina says no, definitely not. Their connection isn't inorganic or composite. That means they're not like two separate objects just, glued together or one thing poured into another. Instead, he describes their relationship as unitive. He uses that Arabic term, Ettehadi. It implies a deep existential unity. They are distinct, yes, but they exist in this unified, inseparable way. They form one single human being.
That's a fascinating distinction, the unity. So it's not like the soul is an extra part you just add on.
Yeah.
Can you give us an analogy to really get this unitive idea? It feels deeper than just combination.
Yeah, he uses a great one. Think about a word and its meaning. Can a meaning really exist without a word to carry it? Or a word without any meaning? It's just noise then.
Right.
The word is like the form, the surface, maybe. And the meaning is its essence, its depth. They aren't separate things you can just stick together. Their union is, well, existential. One really can't be without the other in a meaningful sense, yet we can talk about them distinctly.
Word and meaning, I like that. Or maybe like appearance and essence.
That's another way to think about it, absolutely. He'd say all things, as manifestations of the divine, have both an outer appearance and an inner essence. It's a profound kind of duality, much deeper than just, say, chemical compounds. In fact, he extends this. Think about God's relationship with the universe. Ibn Sina sees it as an all-encompassing, sustaining presence. He calls it qayyumi. It's not God attached to the universe like two separate things.
And more like God upholds the universe from within.
Exactly. An intrinsic, pervasive connection. And in the same way, the soul encompasses the body. There isn't some boundary line where the soul stops and the body starts. It permeates, extends to every single part, down to a single hair or fingernail. It's truly a unified existence.
That's a really elegant way to put it. But, okay, here's the question then. If the soul isn't physical, if we can't point to it or see it under a microscope, how do we even know we have one? How can we experience something that isn't physical?
Right, good question. We know the soul primarily through its actions. Through the very act of thinking, perceiving, being aware, what he calls edrak. Perception, yes. Take seeing, for instance. Your eye. That's a physical tool, a biological instrument. And the table you're looking at. That's a physical object.
Okay.
But the act of seeing itself, the vision, the conscious experience of seeing, does that have weight? Does it have a location inside your head? Like, is the seeing 3 inches behind your pupil?
No, the act of seeing isn't physical. It's an experience, right? An internal awareness. It's what it's like to see, not the mechanics.
Exactly. The actual experience of seeing or hearing or feeling pain or thinking, it's an immediate, non-physical, abstract awareness. This direct, unmediated awareness, this knowing yourself without needing proof from the outside, that's what Ibn Sina calls presence-based knowledge.
Huduri.
It's not a concept about awareness or a theory about it. It's the direct experience of being aware, the raw, intuitive knowing of your own consciousness. And to really get this, to really feel it, Ibn Sina suggests this powerful mental exercise, a kind of radical introspection, or bracketing maybe. Imagine mentally setting aside everything you've learned or been told about yourself, all the labels.
Like my job. My nationality?
Yes. Your job, nationality, family roles, beliefs, opinions, even your memories. Strip all of that away mentally. Peel back all those layers of identity. What's left? What remains when you do that?
Wow, that's intense. If I really try to do that, set aside everything I think I am, what's left is just awareness, just the feeling of I am before any descriptions get attached.
Yeah.
Like the basic me that just is.
That's it. That raw, fundamental awareness. That pure I am, before any description, any attribute, any story is attached, that is the heart of Huduri. It's your direct, undeniable knowing of your own existence. It helps you sort of discern the knowing subject underneath all the things you know, all the objects of knowledge. It proves the soul exists not through external observation, but through immediate internal experience. It's like an inner compass pointing right at consciousness itself.
That's incredibly powerful and honestly really useful in our world, which is so full of external identities and noise. Okay, but let's circle back to the beginning. How does this soul, this non-physical conscious thing, actually get connected with the body in the first place? Does it just float around waiting for a body?
His view on this is fascinating, and it really resonates with certain sacred texts, too. He proposes that the human body is unique. As it develops in the womb through specific stages, the embryo reaches this precise point, a point of perfect readiness. Yes, a state where it's perfectly prepared, perfectly aligned to receive the soul. He uses this analogy of, think of gasoline, physical substance, right? But it's fully prepared, ready to ignite the very instant it meets a spark. The body reaches that state of readiness.
So the body doesn't create the soul, but it becomes the necessary condition, the right kind of place for the soul to, well, manifest in the physical world.
Exactly. It's the condition, the prepared ground, not the creator or container. And at that precise moment of readiness, the soul attaches, or perhaps better, integrates immediately. There's no delay, no waiting period. This fits really well with that chronic idea, and I breathed into him of my spirit. It's like a divine spark meeting the prepared material.
A moment of integration.
Yes. And a child in the womb, even at this early stage, possesses a soul. It is a complete human being. However, its capacities for full intellect, speech, complex thought, those are initially potential. He uses the term bilquava.
Good.
Right. They only gradually become actual, or bilfeli, through development after birth, through learning, experience, interaction with the world. And this leads to another crucial point: the sheer potential of humanity. Humans possess this incredible, almost infinite potential, by nihayat, he might say, limitless.
Infinite? How so?
Think about the vastness of the human mind. We can conceive of not just things that exist, but things that don't exist. We can think about non-existence itself. We can even contemplate logical impossibilities.
Like a square circle.
Exactly. No other creature we know of can do that, engage in such abstract, boundless thought. This limitless capacity, this reach of the mind, is what drives our unique search for meaning, our art, our science, our spiritual seeking, our desire for something beyond the finite, for eternity. It's what fundamentally sets us apart.
So this infinite potential isn't just about being clever or inventing things. It's tied to our existential drive, why we look beyond just surviving.
Precisely. It points to a profound truth about who we are. Ibn Sina captures this beautifully. He says, humanity is the meeting point of two realms and the confluence of two seas. Melteka eklemen wa machma al-bahrain.
The confluence of two seas.
Yeah. We are both finite, bound by our physical body, its needs, limits, mortality, and infinite in our soul, our intellect, our capacity for thought, for understanding, for connecting to something transcendent. Our very nature is a bridge between the physical and the spiritual. It challenges us constantly to reconcile our earthly limits with our boundless aspirations. It's a call to look beyond the immediate, to recognize the infinite within. And in this unique union, the soul, especially its highest part, the intellect, must guide the body. The body is the condition, the instrument for engaging with the world. It's not the master, the soul directs.
That really gives you a sense of the wonder and maybe the responsibility of being human.
Yeah.
Okay, so given this union, this guidance, what happens after? What did Ibn Sina say about the soul after it leaves the body at death? Does it keep evolving, or is its state kind of fixed then?
That's an area where Ibn Sina's writings show some fascinating nuance. It's complex, and scholars actually find maybe two main interpretations in his work.
Okay.
In some places, he suggests that, yes, even after separation from the body, the soul continues to evolve, it connects with higher intellects, maybe angelic intellects, and achieves greater perfection, so a kind of post-mortem intellectual journey upwards.
Interesting.
But in other instances, there's a hint of a different view, that the soul's state, whether it's achieved happiness or is in a state of suffering based on its life, becomes largely fixed when it leaves the body. In this view, there's no further self-driven development or transformation unless, perhaps, through divine grace, if that's warranted. It shows the depth, the ongoing discussion even within his own thought about these ultimate questions.
It's really incredible to think how deeply he explored all this. I mean, offering such intricate, thought-provoking answers, especially considering he lived over 1,000 years ago. His work on the soul, it really is a cornerstone, isn't it? Still relevant, still debated. Wow. What a journey through Ibn Sina's insights today. Really radical stuff. We've explored his clear, logical separation of body and soul.
Distinct but united.
Exactly. United in that inseparable, encompassing way, like the word and its meaning. And we saw how we know the soul, not through the senses, but through that direct, presence-based awareness, that ilm huduri, that feeling of I am.
Right. And how the body is the condition, the prepared ground, not the container.
Yeah. And we also touched on that incredible, almost limitless potential of the human mind, able to think way beyond the physical, how that duality, finite and infinite, defines us as that confluence of two seas.
It really does frame the human condition uniquely.
It definitely makes you reconsider how you understand yourself, especially today, with so much external noise telling us who we are. Think about that bracketing exercise he suggested, that mental act of setting aside all the labels, the roles, the facts about yourself. How can you, listening now, practice cultivating that deeper inner awareness day to day? How can you move beyond just collecting more information and genuinely touch that core of I am within, distinguish your true self from all the stuff layered on top?
And remember, Ibn Sina believed a mind that stops asking questions is, well, dormant. True vitality lies in keeping that inquiry going. So maybe we can leave you with this thought. How can you keep that philosophical questioning alive? Not just when you're thinking quietly, but in your daily interactions, your observations. How can you let it keep your own humanity fresh and vibrant?
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive in our Wisdom Unveiled series. There is definitely still much more unique insight from Ibn Sina to explore next time. And just that final note again, this deep dive comes from and is a translation of conversations with the Iranian philosophers Dr. Ibrahim Dinani and Dr. Esmail Mansouri Larijani. We've really tried to convey their insights faithfully and truly. Any unintentional discrepancies are just down to the challenges of translation. Until then, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep seeking that deeper wisdom.